Michael?
Well, let's turn to Turkey now, which has been under pressure to crack down on Kurdish rebels based in northern Iraq for years. But after a Kurdish ambush Sunday left 12 Turkish soldiers dead, another 8 missing, the pressure from the people has intensified. And now we're getting reports that the rebels are set to announce a ceasefire. A lot of developments happening here. Paula Hancock joins us via broadband from Ankara in Turkey with the very latest. What more are we hearing about this potential for ceasefire and talks that are going on between Turkey and Baghdad?
Well, to be honest, Michael, what we're hearing is coming from the Iraqi side and Iraqi officials as opposed to here in Turkey. They're far more tight-lipped here. We do understand, though, that the Turkish Foreign Minister, Ali Babacan, will be going to Baghdad on Tuesday to meet with the Iraqi Prime Minister, which really shows that the diplomacy is continuing, despite the fact this is a very tense situation, despite the fact that many Turkish politicians have been saying that if necessary, they will go into northern Iraq and they will try and root out these 3,000 PKK rebels they believe are hiding there without thought to the repercussions from other areas. Of course, Washington and Baghdad are putting a tremendous amount of pressure on the Turkish government to hold back and not to start this new conflict on this particular Iraqi front. Now, we've seen on the streets of Turkey this Monday a huge response from the Turkish public, venting their anger and their frustration following Sunday's attack, that the Turkish government is not doing more. Quite frankly, the Turkish public have seen this since the 1980s, since '84, when the PKK started a violent campaign to try and secure autonomy in southern eastern Turkey, and many people on the streets were carrying Turkish flags, shouting down to the PKK, some shouting down to the Turkish government. They have heard promises before, they have heard rhetoric before, and yet they are still seeing their soldiers being killed on the border.
All right, Paula Hancock's there in Ankara. Thanks, Paula.
We want to take a look now at the area known by Kurds as Kurdistan. Take a look at this. It covers parts of Turkey, northern Iraq as well, northwestern Iran, and then smaller parts of Syria in there as well. But the flashpoint we're talking about today is in northern Iraq. And that is where our senior international correspondent, Nick Robertson, joins us on the broadband. He's in the Iraqi town of Erbil. Nick?
Well, Colleen, we've heard today from Iraq's President Jalal Talibani, who is himself a Kurd. He was up here in the north of Iraq today. He said that he expected the PKK to announce a ceasefire. That's what he expected. We've also heard from the Agence France-Presse, a newswire service, that they have found a website operated, they say, by the PKK. And on that, the PKK lays out the terms of a ceasefire that is supposed to come into effect this evening, expected to come into effect this evening. The terms of that are that the Turkish army should stop attacking PKK groups, and that the Turkish army and the Turkish government should drop plans for an incursion into Iraq. Those are the terms being laid out by the PKK, according to the Agence France-Presse, who say they've found us a website operated by the PKK. It does seem to run concurrent with the expectation of Iraq's president that the PKK would make a statement about a ceasefire. We also heard from a senior Kurdish politician who says that it has taken Iraqi Kurdish leaders to pressure the PKK into making that statement about the ceasefire. So this does seem to be a result of pressure being levied on the PKK. Remember, that's a Turkish-based Kurdish group being leveraged on them by the Iraqi Kurdish leadership here, Colleen.
Nick, if indeed there is a ceasefire declared, I mean, what next? It certainly wouldn't be the first time that a ceasefire gets declared and doesn't hold.
Well, it's going to be a matter of trust, and do both sides trust each other, and what measures of verification can both sides offer each other that this is going to hold. This is not an everyday ongoing battle where you see pitched battles or even small battles every day. The model we've seen over the last month or so is 3 attacks over the last month. So it'll take a degree of nerves on both sides to see if both sides are willing to agree. What one would expect to happen in this situation, the visit visit expected by the Turkish Foreign Minister to Baghdad tomorrow may begin to try and put some flesh on the bones of how Turkey can verify what the PKK is saying, provide to the PKK through those same channels verification that Turkey is perhaps willing to go along with it. So one would expect a big degree of nervousness at this time on both sides. Are they really committed? Will they hold to this obligation that they say they're prepared to put forward on the side of the PKK? And then getting some real negotiations. Let's not forget here, there haven't been real negotiations between Turkish politicians and the PKK or even Iraq's Kurds here. So there's a lot of ground to be covered yet, Colleen.
Yeah. Nick Robertson there for us. Nick, thanks very much.